Hello, with the arrival of Polkadot 2, the concept of Blockspace is becoming much more pronounced. Now I'll explain what Blockspace is and why in the next few years Polkadot will take over Web3 space as the best Blockspace producer. I got inspired for this video by this blog post about Blockspace ecosystems on Polkadot Block. The way to explain Blockspace is simple. Blockspace is a product produced by a single blockchain, so each existing blockchain produces Blockspace. Blockspace production is the ultimate purpose of blockchains, and by producing Blockspace, blockchains deliver a real value to end users. So just like Apple produces iPhones and iPads as their ultimate product in a real world, blockchains produce Blockspace as the foundational product for Web3. So with the completion of Polkadot 1 and with the journey towards Polkadot 2, the production of secure, flexible and available Blockspace is becoming the main Polkadot narrative for years to come. The vision of Polkadot is a multi-chain ecosystem where all application-specific parachains are interconnected, composable and can securely and seamlessly transfer value and data between each other. So this multi-chain Polkadot ecosystem is why the concept of Blockspace applies not just to Polkadot relay chain, but to the entire Polkadot ecosystem. Here is that famous impression drawn by Dr. Gavin Wood portraying how Polkadot 2 will function. Polkadot as the supercomputer with all deployed parachains, each utilizing one Polkadot score, and on each parachain many dApps deployed that span multiple parachains. That means we are not talking just about Blockspace produced by Polkadot relay chain, but about combined Blockspace produced by all chains that are part of the Polkadot eco. So this combined Blockspace produced by Polkadot and all its parachains forms the entire Polkadot Blockspace ecosystem. So this is that perspective shift that's coming with Polkadot 2. We should no longer call Polkadot just a blockchain or a decentralized network, because these terms no longer fully describe what Polkadot really is. And look, even the official Polkadot homepage has been updated, reflecting Polkadot's transformation. So Blockspace is a product produced by blockchains, but really, what's actually Blockspace, how to imagine it, and what attributes high-quality Blockspace has? Blockspace is a virtual space where blockchain's code and data are executed. It's a space where all actions and information are processed. This includes things like validating and recording crypto transactions, executing smart contracts for DeFi apps, simply processing of all data stored on a blockchain. Blockspace has many similarities with the traditional resources in Web 2, such as computing power, storage and bandwidth. Bandwidth is the amount of data and information that can be sent over internet in a certain amount of time. So Blockspace is also bringing to Web3 these three resources, but the distribution of these resources is done over a decentralized network. I mean, at least in case of Polkadot, because decentralization of some other major blockchains is questionable. More about that in a second. Oh yes, and those core attributes of Blockspace are security, availability and flexibility. Security is naturally the most crucial and the scarcest resource in blockchain production. Quality Blockspace must provide security that is resistant to consensus faults or 51% attacks, so that historic transactions and data stored on the blockchain could not be reversed or altered. Quality Blockspace must be also 100% of time available, meaning it should not experience long waiting time of transaction finality or excessive transaction costs. And the third core attribute is flexibility. Quality Blockspace can be fine-tuned according to developers' needs. So a truly future-proof Blockspace ecosystem allows developers to compose Blockspace that fits all their needs for the applications they build. And that brings us to different Blockspace offerings available nowadays provided by major blockchains. There is Ethereum with Blockspace primarily focused at executing smart contracts for DeFi applications, and many other chains, Solana, Cosmos and of course Polkadot. Blockspace produced by each of them differs by these three core attributes. So not all Blockspace is equal, hence the overall quality and the utility of Blockspace is determined by how much individual blockchains deliver on security, availability and flexibility. And who is to judge here if particular Blockspace available on Web3 market is high quality? Correct, it's developers who build dApps and need high-quality block space that meets requirements they have for their applications. Developers have their business plans, looking to get their Web3 ideas and apps to market. That's why they are assessing and comparing each Blockspace ecosystem, looking for the best Blockspace to deploy their apps on. The endgame of most Web3 devs is to build a dApp that will become a new Facebook or YouTube of Web3. So all developers are looking to build in an environment, Blockspace, that is secure, with a fast transaction finality. They want their dApps to tap into other dApps and communities on other chains without the need for their users to use risky bridges and many more other things. And Blockspace produced by the Polkadot Blockspace ecosystem meets all these criteria. Over the recent years, as Ethereum has been constantly congested with skyrocketing fees, it's becoming more and more clear that a single blockchain, no matter which one, can't scale enough to meet the needs of global Web3 activity and provide the diversity that developers, institutions and users require. In other words, Blockspace produced by just a single blockchain can't deliver seamless user experience that nowadays internet users expect. And that's exactly what makes Polkadot Blockspace ecosystem so advanced in comparison to other blockchains. Why is that? Because, as I said, Polkadot Blockspace ecosystem combines block space produced by all application-specific parachains. And since each individual parachain is tailored for a specific purpose and type of application, be it DeFi, digital identity, gaming, DAOs or social networks, each parachain is ready to provide the best possible block space for developers. Looking further into the future, in a few years, as more people join Web3, the concept of secure, available and efficient block space will become absolutely critical to incorporate for all blockchains. It was a greater bandwidth that enabled a transition from static Web 1 to dynamic Web 2 full of user-generated content. And similarly to how cloud computing drove mass adoption of Web 2, Blockspace will act as the same catalyst driving mass adoption of Web 3. Because there are still apparent obstacles blocking the mass adoption of Web 3. We see that with each new hyped NFT mint on Ethereum, the network gets clogged and that results in a poor UX. So with the arrival of Polkadot 2.0, combined Blockspace produced by the entire Polkadot eco will fix all these issues. Imagine the future with thousands of devs building dApps on Polkadot Blockspace, each dApp with a different purpose, targeting different audience, but all addressing issues that we nowadays have to face in Web 2. Well, so what all this means for you as a member of Polkadot community? Get familiar with Blockspace, because this concept will start being referred to more and more in the future. Polkadot has a fundamental advantage here over other ecosystems because the Blockspace concept was already embedded in the white paper from 2016 as a future core element in the vision to create a heterogeneous multi-chain decentralized network. So the concept of Blockspace has been worked with since the very inception of Polkadot, and as Gavin Wood said at Decoded, over those 7 years, Polkadot has evolved into something more than what was initially intended. There is two types of people in Polkadot, those who claim to be in it for the tech, but in reality you know what, and then those who genuinely care about what's being built in Polkadot. If you really value your personal data and your online privacy, Polkadot gives us a chance that we will get our online privacy back and won't have to trust third parties anymore. As Gavin Wood put it, Web3 will continue being built along with Web 2, and Polkadot will be here to offer an alternative for people who want less trust, more truth. Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.